Web servers, web containers, and application servers. Web servers. Key terms: HTTP, or Hypertext Transfer Protocol, is an application protocol for distributed, collaborative, and hypermedia information systems. HTTP functions acts as a request-response protocol in the client-server computing model. Port serves as an interface between the computer and other computers or peripheral devices. A computer has serial ports, parallel ports, and also Ethernet ports. URL, or Uniform Resource Locator, is the global address of documents and other resources on the World Wide Web. The first part of the URL is called a protocol identifier, and it indicates what protocol to use, and the second part is called a resource name, and it specifies the IP address or the domain name where the resource is located. The protocol identifier and the resource name are separated by a colon and two forward slashes. A web server can be referred as hardware or software. If it's hardware, it's the computer that acts as a web server, either installing software for delivering web content or has hardware microprocessors to deliver web content. If it's software, then it's all the computer applications that deliver web content like IIS, or Internet Information Services, from Microsoft Corporation, or Apache HTTP Server from Apache Software Foundation, among others. Regarding web servers as software, all of these deliver HTML documents using the HTTP protocol. Also, technologies like PHP, ASP could be supported by the web server. Take a look at the picture. This is how the communication between a client and a web server is being performed. A client performs a request to a web server and it returns a response over the network, as we said, an HTML document. Web browsers only understands HTML code, so even you're working on ASP, PHP, the document produced by the web server will always be HTML code. That's why if you want to work on, let's say, PHP, you must install PHP support on your web server. Notice that a web server is very limited software for specific purposes. Web containers. Web container, also known as a servlet container, is the component of a web server that interacts with Java servlets. A web container is responsible for managing the life cycle of servlets, mapping a URL to a particular servlet and ensuring that the URL requester has the correct access rights. A web container implements the web component contract of the Java EE architecture, specifying a runtime environment for web components that includes security, concurrency, lifecycle management, transaction, deployment, and other services. A web container provides the same services as a JSP container, as well as a federated view of the Java EE platform APIs. On a web container, you will be deploying Word files. These are web archives, compressed with a specific organization in folders and files. Remember to install the Java Development Kit in order to have a compiler available for the web container. Apache Tomcat. Tomcat is an open source software implementation of the servlet and JSP's technologies. These specifications are developed under the Java community process. Tomcat is developed in an open source and participatory environment and released under the Apache license version 2. Version 6 implements Servlet 2.5 and JSP 2.1 specifications. Tomcat installation video. Once you have installed Tomcat, go to the URL proposed to open the Tomcat init page. The 8080 port is the default used by Tomcat. If you click on the Tomcat Manager link, it will be open an interface to deploy, undeploy, start and stop your web applications. This is the init page. If you install correctly Tomcat, you will see this page. Here you can see the Tomcat Manager page. There are already a few applications deployed. At the end of the page, you can see how to deploy your application using the Word file, although later it will be explained how to automatically deploy your applications using Eclipse. Application servers. An application server is a program that handles all application operations between users and an organization's backend business applications or databases. An application server is typically used for complex transaction-based applications. To support high-end needs, an application server has to have built-in redundancy, monitor for high availability, high performance distributed application services, and support for complex database access. Also, application servers have a lot of consumption of the computer's resources, so for better performance, the computer to hold the app server should be high profile. One of the benefits is that consumers of enterprise applications could be mobile, desktop, web, giving the customer many access options. Here's a list of the most used app servers: Glassfish from the Glassfish community, WebSphere application server from IBM, WebLogic server from Oracle Corporation, and the JBoss application server from Red Hat. Although an enterprise application, either a Word or ER file, should run on every application server has its own configuration files, which give you more configuration options and advantages for a specific app server. Choosing an application server is not an easy task, but one of the first things that you should take care of is that the app server must be 100% Java EE compliant. If it's not, then you'll be missing some of the Java EE specifications. Here's the list of the Java EE 6.0 technologies. This is important because it will give you an idea of the things you can use for a specific technology. Here's a list of the Java EE 5.0 technologies. This is the other thing important about Java EE, which is the version. As you can notice, there's a big difference between the 5 and 6 technologies version. Here's a picture of the Java EE 5 platform APIs. Here you can see that all of this is supported by the Java Standard Edition or J2SE. Notice that you can establish a communication with the web container from an applet, mobile, and a different language, also using SOA. Some of the APIs available are JMS or Java Message Service, JTA or Java Transaction API, EJB or Enterprise Java Beans, and more. This picture shows the Java EE architecture. As you can see, the general idea is to have several tiers to achieve concern separation. At the top, you have the clients that will use the enterprise application. At the middle, you have JSPs, servlets, session EJB or message-driven beans, which brings you the business logic of your application, the business tier. At the bottom, the database, which includes legacy systems. IBM WebSphere. IBM WebSphere Application Server delivers a lightweight, simple to use, and powerful application server for increased developer productivity and for use as a lightweight production server for application workloads. Although there is a commercial version, you have also the community version, which is free to download. The community version of the WebSphere includes Apache Geronimo, Apache Derby, Apache Tomcat, Apache OpenEJB, Apache OpenJPA, and Apache ActiveMQ. Take a look at the installation video. Once installed, you will see the first steps window. Here, you can start the server, stop the server, and open the administrative console, which will give you all the options to admin the WebSphere. Once you click on the administrative console link, it will be open a web browser with the administrative console and log into the system. Use the information shown to log in into the console. Here's the administrative console. Here you can deploy web application, enterprise applications, data sources, and more. Also, monitor your app server. Oracle WebLogic. Oracle WebLogic Server is an application server for building and running enterprise applications and services. It offers choice in development frameworks and tooling. Comprehensive and accessible management capabilities enable administration of sophisticated systems via a graphical console and/or automation. With this release, Oracle WebLogic is certified for the full Java EE6 platform specification. We will be using WebLogic Server 11G R1. Download the installer from the URL proposed here. Oracle WebLogic installation. When prompting for administrator information, use the following. Take a look at the installation video. Once installed, go to the URL proposed here. This will open the administration console. Use the values chosen when you install the server. Here's the administration page. As the previous servers, here you can administrate WebLogic, deploy WAR files, ER files, and more. Some of the configuration also can be made through here.